Hey everybody, welcome back to Foreverland Fairy Tales. I'm super excited about today's video because that means I finally got to go to Disneyland again after so many months. But while I was there, I was riddled with anxiety about what had changed, and I wish I was a little bit more prepared. So while I was there, I was literally in line putting a list together on what were the things that made me most anxious so that you don't have to have those anxious moments when returning to the most magical place on earth. So before we get started, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave any comments below if you have any more helpful tips that you think people should know about. All right, let's get started. So like I said in the beginning, I literally made this list standing in line waiting for Indiana Jones because it was just a really overwhelming experience my first time back. So I walked through my day, and what was the first thing that made me anxious was parking. So parking is a little bit stressful right now. You can park on-site at the Mickey and Friends lot, or you can park off-site at one of the surrounding hotels that allow parking for Disneyland, or at the Anaheim Garden Walk. If you want to park on-site, make sure you get there early. Either way, I found you're going to get stuck in a line either waiting to get in to park or waiting to get in to the park. So you're just going to want to have to weigh those options and see what's going to be best for you. If you want to park at Mickey and Friends like normal, it's going to be the normal $25. There are no legacy pass holder discounts or any other type of discount. It's going to be $25 for general parking. If you want to park at the Anaheim Garden Walk like we did on our first day, it is a little bit of a walk, but there is a shorter wait on the Harbor Boulevard entrance. You're going to have to walk no matter what because there is no tram. The Anaheim Garden Walk is $30. Our recommendation, like I said, is to park offsite at the Anaheim Garden Walk. It was just a lot shorter of a wait for us. We did get there around 8:30 in the morning, and by the time we got into Disneyland, it was already 9:08. So it's just a little bit over a half-hour wait from the Harbor Boulevard entrance. All right, number 2. The second thing that gave me anxiety was eating. So I normally don't like to eat in public anyways, but the biggest thing that gave me anxiety about eating was actually getting my food. Disney is really pushing mobile ordering and having as little contact as possible. So utilize that My Disney Experience app, mobile order your food. Some tricks and tips that I would say when mobile ordering food would be that just to say you're already there, even if you're not. In my experience, a lot of times they don't even have your food ready. They'll just start preparing your food once you give them your order number. Another trick I think is super helpful is that if you don't see a time that's available that you want something right now or within the next 30 minutes, keep refreshing the mobile order section of the app. Try not to look directly at the restaurant that you want to order from. Just do the entire mobile order app section of the My Disney Experience. It's going to be a lot easier to see what options are available and what times are going to be available. My last tip about eating is going to be make sure you try to find a spot before you get your food so you're not walking around with your tray of food trying to find a spot to sit at like the awkward kid at lunch. You want to make sure that you find a spot, claim it, have a friend sit there. If you're by yourself, try to just find a little spot off to the side. There are plenty of little spaces right now in Disneyland where you can go and sit and be alone and be away from people. So yeah, totally recommend trying to find a place to eat before you actually get your food. That brings us to number 3, the boarding groups. So the boarding groups for Rise of the Resistance are a lot less stressful than they used to be. You can get your boarding group from your home if you have a park reservation and ticket for that day starting at 7 a.m. That is super helpful. The one that gave me so much stress and anxiety was the Indiana Jones boarding group because yes, Indiana Jones has a boarding group now. So one of the biggest differences I want to tell you guys about the Rise of the Resistance and the Indiana Jones boarding group is that Rise of the Resistance, you can get in the boarding group at noon for a second time, at either Disneyland or Disney California Adventure if you have the park hopper. Doesn't matter which park as long as you're scanned in. Indiana Jones, however, you have to be scanned into Disneyland Park in order to get into that queue, even if you have a park hopper. So that was a perfect segue into wait times. My number 4 is going to be wait times. Don't freak out about Pirates being a 57 million minute wait time. In our experience, the only ride that was true to the wait time posted on the My Disney Experience app was Space Mountain. All of the other ride times were about 15 minutes shorter than were actually posted. Now, use this info with caution, just like parking. It's all circumstantial. So try not to be panicked and freak out about the wait times that are posted outside of the rides or on the My Disney Experience app itself. And speaking of long queues and wait times, my number 5 tip is probably the most important. Don't panic at how long the queues are. You can only queue outside. Disneyland, you cannot queue indoors for more than 10 minutes. So every single line queue is taking up all of the walkways, specifically Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. If you've been to Disneyland before, you already know how small the pathways along Rivers of America are. Now, imagine that full of line queues. That's all it is right now. They move very fast. Don't panic. Don't be discouraged on that it's going to be such a long wait. It's not like it used to be, which I want to give my last little tip. So I guess this is number 6, or I'll just call it a bonus tip. The bonus tip for right now, because we cannot queue indoors, once you get in line for Haunted Mansion and you get to the one cast member who directs you into the queue, make sure you ask them for the servants' quarters if they do not ask you. A lot of the times they will ask you if you're okay with taking the stairs. It is a cast member entrance to the ride that cuts the entire rest of the queue and the stretching room, which takes up a lot of time. So that's how we were able to get in line and get to the ride within 5 minutes, because we zipped through that queue, got in line, went down the service stairs, and got right into the ride. It takes you right past the stretching room, so into the dark hallway with the lightning and the bus that stare at you, right onto the ride. It was really, really simple, really fast. But yeah, so those are my 5 tips and tricks for, sounded like Moira Rose for a second. Those are my 5 tips and tricks for visiting Disneyland and trying to alleviate some anxiety for you guys. Like I said in the beginning, I went not really knowing what to expect, even though I had gone a couple weeks after opening. I haven't seen a lot of videos on what's changed and how you can, make use of your time in the parks. So I wanted to create this for you guys to alleviate your anxiety, alleviate some stress, and help you plan a little bit more. So if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. Give us a thumbs up and leave any comments below if you have any extra tips that you think people should know, or if I should create another video of more tips. All right, I am Kurt with Foreverland Fairy Tales, and I will talk to you guys next time.